Hello, divine woman. How are you?
Hi, Lucy. I'm doing great. How are you?
I am very good. Now, for those of you watching, this is going to seem like deja vu because Marie has already actually done a testimonial in this group. The reason that we are jumping back to have a chat is for a really, really good reason. So, Marie, do you want to tell us why?
So I've found my soulmate relationship and I'm so happy.
Yes. Before we dive into all this really good stuff, can you just remind us how old you are, where you live, all that good stuff?
Oh yeah, I'm 32 and I live in Austin, Texas. And um, yeah,
Okay.
I finished Soul to Soul last November, I think. Yeah, it was early last November.
That's nothing. So you finished in November and we're now in February. That is
Oh my
awesome.
gosh. Yeah.
That is freaking awesome. So listen, I'm just going to really drop Marie, back into just because it's really relevant for those of you watching this that really do feel like a soulmate is just so on another planet. Like it's just so far out of your consciousness of what you believe that could happen for you. Um, when Marie first came to me, she was actually in a relationship. She was in the wrong relationship. And I actually had to send her away because I said, darling, this is just for women that are single because it's actually about a homecoming. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And I said to Marie, here's the deal. I'm more than happy to chat with you again, but I mean, are you willing to end the current relationship? Because there's a reason you've reached out to me. And I said, and clearly this current relationship is not aligned. And it's not about fixing a relationship with this guy. It's got to be about you. Anyway, Marie literally got back. She reached out to my assistant, was back on my schedule the very next day. She went and took action very courageously, very boldly, and communicated to this guy, like, hang on a minute, I'm not doing this right now. I've got to make it about me. So when you did come to me, Marie, for that second call, probably feels like a while ago now, but if you could just really, I remember very clearly, very, very clearly, drop back into where you were with yourself, on how you were really feeling deep down.
I was feeling really scared, I remember, and like I was trying to like grab control of my life, but it felt like nothing I did was working, and I felt like I was left behind.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I felt like kind of in this weird sense of desperation, like like the dreams that I had for my life were slipping away, and I didn't know how to make them become realized, and um,
Yes.
just saw like um, things moving forward with my family and friends, and like they were achieving what they wanted to, and I just felt like so stuck and so kind of like mute, almost like I
Yes.
yeah, it was like I
Yes.
knew I needed help in some respect, but I didn't know like I didn't know why I was feeling so sad and upset and lonely, even though I was in a relationship. And yeah, I just remember feeling so dissatisfied, and that was why I reached out to you after watching your masterclass, even though I was in a relationship at the time.
Actually, you know what just happened? This is so perfect. First of all, there's sirens out there reflecting always, like, yeah, it was an emergency. But the universe is literally my orchestra. I love it. But I actually just started to feel like I couldn't breathe when you were talking. Like I literally was like holding my breath. I didn't, I was just energetically just feeling that. But I was like, whoa, that's what it was like for you. You were just like holding on, holding your breath. And I remember your self-expression was like you were so fragile in who you were. Remember, I
Yeah, I remember that.
really, really checking in with you to like, because as Marie will vouch, like I'm very clear, like making sure that someone's ready to really step up and do the work, and I was really checking in with you, like, are you ready to do what it's going to take? And she was adamant. She was like, yes, absolutely. And so if we fast forward, really today, because your testimonial is, already in this group. But if you just cut to the chase, Marie, you know, with that relationship you were in then, and then having gone through such a deep process with your heart, and then how you came out, and then attracted in this beautiful guy. He looks so divine. Share with us what that's been like for you. Like, how is this different? How is this a different relationship?
It's different because I feel really seen as myself, and I feel free to speak and be myself, and I feel really appreciated. And I feel like there was a big difference in my relationship before, where I felt like I was trying to be someone that would fit into this ideal that I thought this guy wanted of me, and I was doing it, like the relationship revolved around him, like how can I make him happy. You know, I felt like I was always walking on eggshells. I felt so much self-doubt, and like, does he really like me? And like, I felt so fragile. Like, that's the perfect word. I felt so so limited and so shut down, but I didn't even realize it. I thought I was happy then, but
Wow.
looking back on it,
That's the freaking thing, isn't it? That's so bang on. You thought you were happy?
yeah, I thought I was. Yeah, I thought I was really happy. Yeah.
But what had you then book a call knowing that you weren't?
When I was really silent and still with myself, and when I wasn't doing something, when I wasn't like, when I really let myself feel the inner parts of me that just felt deeply unsatisfied, when I really looked at that and felt that, it was just like, why do I feel like this? Even though I, you know, surface value, I felt, or I thought I was so happy, but it was all surface. So I thought, like, this is the relationship it's good for me. You know, he seems great, and it seems like we work well together. But like, when I really looked back at our conversations and how we interacted, and I just, when I allowed myself to feel the truth of it, I was like, I'm deeply dissatisfied with this relationship. Why am I? What am I doing?
It was
And
so fun, Marie. I remember you literally started almost hyperventilating on the call with me when I
yeah,
hit you in the first 10 minutes. I hit you with the truth, and you were brave enough to sit with it, and it was confronting for you. You know, there was no self-expression, there was no sense of self, there was no sense of value. I could just see this woman going through this relationship on autopilot, and that was showing up in other areas of your life. Like, there was no expression with your family and really being Marie. And that's what had you go, oh my God, Lucy, this is the truth. And it was actually pulsating in your being. Like, you were like, that's it. But it was so much for you to take that, and you felt it so deeply that it was really manifesting as like you being barely able to breathe. Do you remember that?
I do. I remember that really clearly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share that with you girls watching this, because this is not about us just coming on and being like, yeah, like, no, I'm with my soulmate, because you know, it's like Marie, first of all, was like, you know what, I really am ready to change. So she got rid of, you know, having that relationship that was just really distraction. And then she came in and she was extremely coachable and really showed up for herself and her soul sisters, and was a real inspiration, actually. And now you've attracted in this beautiful relationship. And I checked in before we got on today, because we haven't caught up properly since Soul to Soul, you know, just about this guy. You know, this is still relatively new, but I was like, do you think he's your soulmate? She's like, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I feel like he is.
Share with us, you know, and even if he wasn't, even having a, you know, attracting in a much higher caliber of man is still a celebration. But I was loving that. I was like, hey, do you think he's your soulmate? You're like, yes. So you were starting to share beautiful, beautiful things. You feel more seen. You're not overcompensating. What else? What else is really standing out to you that you've actually, you know, because you attracted this in, right? So what else are you noticing in this relationship that is new for you?
I'm noticing that I feel I feel space being held for me. I feel like my feelings are really valid to him, and that he appreciates when I speak up, and that there's never like a bad time to speak up. Like I never feel a sense of like having to walk on eggshells like I had in all my previous relationships. And like I realized that that was like a chronic thing with me, but like
Yes.
having learned how to develop my self-expression and really value myself, I feel like, yeah, now I can express my feelings, like when I don't want to do something or how I really feel about something, and
Yes.
it's he's going to receive it, and he always has. Like whenever I express myself, if I'm not happy with something, or like just like allowing my true feelings to be seen and heard, he like is super receptive. He um he really hears me and he listens to me. He creates so much space for me. And then we would talk for hours about it afterward. Like he would stop whatever he's doing, no distractions, and we would just talk about it and talk, share both perspectives, and like just and it's so freeing. It feels so like I really feel um, super validated by him and super appreciated by him that he does that and takes the time to do that for me, and
Why does
really loved.
no, you go. You really love what?
Oh, yeah. And I just, that felt like such a huge contrast in my previous relationships. If I ever, finally felt pushed to bring up something, it felt like it was kind of like glanced over, or just not really talked about, or not really heard really, or wasn't really give much credence to.
Mm.
So I feel that that is a huge difference now.
Dude, and that's what's
Yeah.
to my heart, because I was like, cry alert. I cried through Yana's. I was like, not that it matters if I cried through this, but I'm not wearing waterproof mascara, and I was like, I don't want to draw attention. But why do you know, not why do you think, why do you know that this is what's going on in this relationship? Why now have you attracted a guy that validates you, that holds space for you, that sees you, that really cares about like your feelings? Why do you know that you attracted that in?
It's because I value myself now, and I'm sticking up for myself, and
Yes.
putting myself first. Like my feelings are a priority. I'm prioritizing my feelings, and like actually feeling my feelings, and then like prioritizing them and speaking them out. Like I used to just like suppress all my feelings because I didn't think they were important, but I realize now like how important they are, and how that is me as a person. Like that my feelings are they're so freaking important, and
Yes.
expressing them is it's genuine. It's so important for creating a healthy relationship, and a multi-dimensional me as a person, and showing him all of me, and
Yeah.
not just going along.
Not just going along with it, which is what you were doing. So how do you feel about yourself, Marie, knowing that you truly, yes, you did soul to soul. Yes, I'd love for you to share with, what the biggest thing you got out of it was in terms of really turning your life into the life that you want. But how do you feel about yourself right now that you attracted him in, and it was through you really stepping up that you really did this?
I feel really amazing about myself now. I feel really good. I do my mirror work every day, and I smile at myself every time I look in the mirror, and I feel so much self-love for myself, and so much happiness when I see my own face.
Oh, yeah. Good, because yeah.
I feel I blow myself kisses, and yeah, I feel so much more lit about just my life, and me, and that I love myself, and that I have so much to offer.
Yeah.
I have so much potential, and
Yeah. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. So what do you think, not without going into the program or anything, but like for you, what was the biggest thing that you got out of your soul to soul experience, you personally? What did you really now? Because it's the fact that you're like, yes, he's my soulmate. Like, that's huge. And you finished in November. That is not a lot of time
Yeah.
at all. What do you really feel that was one of the biggest things for you with really facing yourself?
I feel like learning to trust was a huge one for me. Trusting myself, first of all. I used to put my I used to have absolutely no trust in my own judgment. So I felt powerless all the time. And so learning how to trust myself, trust my feelings, I feel like was huge for me for soul to soul. Learning that I can trust my intuition.
You know how
And
big that is,
then,
Marie? Do you know how big that is? Seriously, like, I know you're about to say something else, but like, that is one of the biggest things that I experience with, you know, women that come to me is like, I don't trust. Like, I want to control things because I really don't trust men. I don't trust love. I don't trust myself to make the right decisions. Like, that is freaking huge. Well done, you.
thank you. Yeah, it was really huge. Yeah, I realized how many just trust and control issues I had after going through soul to soul, and just, yeah, wanting to control every iota of everything and not trusting at all, and just
A horrible feeling, isn't it? I do it too. It's a
yes.
horrible feeling. Horrible.
Yeah, horrible feeling.
Creates so much unnecessary anxiety and angst.
Yeah, so much angst, so much anxiety. Yeah.
Sorry, you were about to say something else, but I just wanted to pause to really just milk that beautiful share, which was just, you know, trust. It's massive that you got that in 8 weeks. What else?
Yeah.
Is something else you want to share? You don't have to, but I thought you would say something else.
Yeah, I feel like the other big thing was just realizing that I have the power to create, and that, I think that was also deeply related to my sense of trust, because, like I mentioned, that feeling of feeling stuck before, and I know it was because I was outsourcing my life to other people, like letting everyone else have, you know, tell me what I should do with my life, or like just not trusting myself to create my own life, but just instead, like, what do you think, or what, it's
Oh
just
my
like
God, I used to do
always
that
outsourcing
too.
opinions. And
I
so
used
now
to
it's
do
like
that. It's the worst.
yeah,
You said before, you feel so powerless because you're constantly being like, here, take my power, putting other
yeah,
people's voices above your own.
yeah,
It's like us eating away at ourselves. That's what it feels like, isn't
yeah,
it? Until you
that is
diminish it,
it.
like a shell of who you are.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it
You're
was
taking me back there, Marie, to a
such
place
a
I don't want to go.
oh, oh
My
my
life.
gosh, me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, so huge, so huge. And that was where a lot of like the victimhood mentality came from, because I just was, because I felt so stuck, and because I felt so powerless, and like it didn't click, like I can create my own life, and like, but instead, like back then was kind of slipping into that victimhood mentality of like things just happen to me, like
Yes.
it's always the guy's fault, or like
Yes.
it's just, I didn't realize like I can create my own outcomes. I don't have to stay dependent on any other person's thoughts or voice, or
Fuck yes. That's so
yeah.
listen to you. Oh my God. I'm like, do you want to run soul to soul? You're doing great.
Oh,
Listen,
thank you.
I want to keep it short and succinct because I have such a habit of I can just talk and talk and talk. And my husband, oh, he's asleep right now. I'm like, you should see my husband. I'm going to show everyone. It's my husband and my dog passed out
Oh,
asleep.
oh.
They're waiting for me to go for a walk. Very cute.
So sweet.
But listen, I really could keep talking because just seeing you share from this really effortless place, Marie, this is why I do what I do, to be honest with you, because this is what's possible when you commit, right? Like the one thing I want to celebrate about you is even though you were seriously in such a vulnerable, fragile place, I saw your greatness on that call. And it was you ultimately, though, that went and took that bold action, got out of that relationship, came back the next day. Lucy, I want in no matter what. You got resourceful. and you showed up, Marie. And that's why, for those of you watching, yes, she's beautiful, but Marie wasn't feeling beautiful before Soul to Soul in her skin. She didn't enjoy looking in the mirror. She, you know, it's like now, so it's not just like, oh, she looks in the mirror now and everything's great. It's a lot more than that. And yet what I love is this happened, you know, in a short amount of time. And he just looks so divine. How do you feel about now, like, going through life with this man by your side?
I feel really excited about it. I feel really like extremely joyful about it. And I trust that our future is going to be amazing. Like I just feel that it's I trust him, and I trust what life is going to bring us, and I feel like there's going to be amazing opportunities ahead for both of us. And I love that he also has like this creative vision. Like he's such a expansive mind. Like he's always looking to create and do more, and
Beautiful.
just like shares all like what he wants to do, and his visions, and it's so refreshing. And like he's extremely successful at what he does, but he sees more. So it's like I love that mindset. I love that, like wanting to just keep climbing and keep creating. And so yeah, I love that about him too, and that we both have creative power together. Like it just feels really juicy.
Really does. It
Talking
really,
about the
really
future.
does. I mean, you look
Yeah.
fantastic together, and I know you shared a picture with Charlotte, so we'll make sure we post that. So these beautiful women in here can see, you know, see you two together, because you do look really right together. Like it's,
Oh, thank you.
he just looks really
Thank you.
solid and kind. Really, really.
He's got like a heart of gold. He's
Yeah, I think that.
like the kindest guy ever. He's
It's
such a
all,
sweetheart and so grounded.
it's all in his eyes, but
Yeah.
you just look phenomenal. So what would you? I'm just going to give it back to you before we wrap. Like, what would you say to these soul sisters of, you know, in here that you haven't even met yet, but yet we're all connected, you know, in what we want. We all want to be loved deeply and seen and held and supported and have intimacy and orgasms, and to create a future, you know, with someone that loves us and we love them, right? That's what we all want. Otherwise, obviously, the people watching this, like, they're in the wrong community. But like, what would you say to, you know, your soul sisters in here that that have given up, that really don't believe that, you know, they're like, oh, well, that's lucky for Marie. What would you say to her?
I would say that I was definitely in that mindset too. Like internally, I think I had given up, and I was just had that kind of like that, yeah, idea was forming in my head, like it's not going to work out for me. But it was all a mindset. It was all this icky mindset that I had, and that I was reinforcing daily just by telling myself subconsciously things wouldn't work out. And
That's right.
it's not true. It's not true. And it was a sucky way to live, and really sucky way to live. And
So
I
what would
would
you
say,
say to your soul sister that is really sick and tired of year after year not having what they want when it comes to love?
yeah, I would say that it's okay to seek out help, and to ask for help in that respect, and to open up and be vulnerable, and to just like I love Soul to Soul, and if like it really resonated with me, I feel like it would resonate with anyone who wanted to really go for it, and just really open up and really reconnect with yourself, and reverse your mindset, and bring out your heart. And like it's definitely possible, and you can do it. It's
Yeah, it's great.
it was,
Look,
yeah.
I think the one thing that I really hear with that, which I love that you said, is, you know, it's not just okay to ask for support. It's fucking mandatory if you want to change your life. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
that.
that's really the bottom line. Like, powerful women in the world, and men, they're not doing it alone. You don't just suddenly see someone change their life because they suddenly walk down a different street that day. Like, it takes something,
Yeah.
anyone that's up to big things and anyone that manages to get themselves onto their right path and really at the end of the day into alignment, is because, we're much stronger together in the collective. And when we have a powerful mentor who's already walked the path, whether that's me or, there is someone that I even say, even if it's not me, even if you're in this community and you're following someone else, like, Marie and I are not here pitching anything. It's like, just get support. Don't do it on your own. You're really robbing yourself when you just think that you can try and figure it out. It's this whole independent, I've got this thing, and you're really, really robbing yourself of the future that you want to create. And without putting skin in the game, like Soul to Soul is a high-end program, because without the skin in the game, you're not going to change 30 years of conditioning. This is not a do-it-yourself program either, right, Marie? Like, my team and I are there supporting you every step of the way, which does not exist. That doesn't exist in a lot of programs. There's a lot of these days like pre-recorded videos and a workbook, and it's like, go knock yourself out. And that's why people come to me pretty bitter. They're like, I've done these high-end programs and I haven't changed anything. And it's like, well, tell me a little bit about it. And I'm like, that's not a process. That's a freaking loop repeated one-size-fits-all situation. Like, that isn't going to change your life. So get support. Don't sit there complaining and feeling woe is me, because there's always, always, always support. And with Soul to Soul, that the thing that is different about this to other programs is you're co-creating it with this process that I teach every step of the way. It's not I teach, you learn. It's a co-creation, right, Marie? It's like, if you sat there and slept through the program, you're not going to change your life. But the fact is, my women are committed, and they are committed to change, and my process works. My question to those of you watching it is, are you ready to really step up? Because if you are, come join these women that are freaking attracting in their soulmate. End of.
Yeah, I would like to add on to that. You mentioned feeling like bitter and alone, like that. Yeah, that feeling of like having to go it alone, having to be independent and like figure things out yourself. Just like living in that I feel like that is definitely a barrier to like really opening up your heart. Just reinforcing that, like, I'm alone, I'm independent belief really creates such a barrier. And so learning how to open up with support is just so incredibly helpful. It's like it creates this network of trust and open-heartedness and just true self-expression, and that was just super huge for me personally.
Well, you got to see who you really were, because your soul sisters were feeding back to you who they saw. That's what it was. My little girl is just coming on because she wants to.
Oh, yay!
I won't breastfeed on this chat.
Oh my
I will
goodness.
go now, but I thought she could.
Hello. Oh my gosh, what a cutie!
So thank you so much, Marie. I'm so happy for you. I really am. And if anyone in here is really, really touched by your share, I know there will be, because I'm really touched by your share.
Oh, thank you.
And the woman that you stepped into, can they reach out to you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, for sure.
Don't bombard her. Don't ask her intrusive questions about what underwear he wears or anything like that. But because she wants but yeah, just if you do feel like, Marie's really resonating with it, then drop her a line,
Yeah.
Totally. I'm gonna go and feed my girl. Thank you so much, Marie, and I'm sending you so much love.
Thank you. Love you too.
Love you. Bye.